What's up? What's up? What's up, peeps? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Okay, so this week we went from black to being Crips and Bloods. Like, what the heck?
I'm just trying to promote the message that greatness starts within. So you know,
But I'm just saying, you got
but
on red today, and I'm
we
up here
ain't
in
beefing
blue.
though. We ain't beefing. We're
We
not
not
beefing.
beefing.
We ain't beefing. Ain't
We
no
not
beef
beefing.
here.
We not beefing. But I'm just like, oh my God.
You gonna crip walk?
I don't know how to do that. I can play the Serena and the I can play the Serena video
she can't do it either. Trust me.
and I can play the Snoop
She
video.
really, yeah. Snoop can, but Serena, no,
But
Serena ain't got
I
the
can't
footwork.
I can't do it. I can't. I can't. I just
Serena ain't got the footwork. What it
What's
do,
up,
Nick?
fam? What's up? What's up? As you can see, we're back. And so we told y'all that this month was going to be dedicated for you guys to get to know us, Patrick and Adrian, who are your host with the mostest.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So, we're going to continue with rapid fire this week. These questions are unscripted. Like whatever questions are asked, neither one of us knows what's going to be asked or how it's going to be answered. And you guys can send us questions through the comments. We no longer have an option for you to call in. But you can send us questions live in the comments, and whatever
Sure.
questions you put in the comments, we will respond to.
Sure.
So, Tay is on the ones and twos. What's up, Tay?
Tay, making it do what it do.
For real, because I done already knocked over a mic tonight. Well, I mean, I'm just being honest and transparent. Like, I'm clumsy.
Oh, wow.
We just gonna embrace it, which is why y'all don't see me in heels a lot. I wear a lot of flats and sneakers. Because and unless somebody is escorting me, I will not have on any heels. Um, what?
Okay. All right.
Ah, okay, so how was everybody's week?
Life is life and for real, man.
Life is life, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, life is life, and like we at the end of the day, um, when I tell you that there's so much going on, and the humanistic part of us want to have a place for it to land because we always want to figure out like why is this going on. If you even think about the trials of Job, what is so significant is the fact that even his friends was like, man, you must have done something for all of this stuff to be happening to you, because man, why is all of this going on? And the reality is sometimes things, it's not a matter of it being bad or it's a matter of it being good. Sometimes it's just a matter of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And most of us, we use the word like pivot. And most people only seek to pivot when planning and preparing has failed. And when we really have not strategized, here's the truth. We would need less miracles if we lived by more principles. Let that rest for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I'm just going to get it to you straight. We would need less miracles if we lived by more principles.
Oh, yes.
Intentional, doing what you must, making those hard decisions, those sacrifices, thinking 10 years down the line, around the corner. I told somebody just yesterday, the 40-year-old you is going to live the 20-year-old you decisions.
Mm.
And the reality is you're going to be 40 before you know it.
Listen, you're gonna be 50 before you know it.
That's
Um,
just real tizok. So when I say life is lifing, but I'm good. And the reason why I'm good is because I understand that everything that is happening, it has a place and it's happening for a purpose. And many times we try to rescue people from things that they're going through and not realizing that when I've gotten to the deepest part of life, that's when I've gotten to the biggest part of faith. Just let people sit in their deepest part of life because that's when they really find their biggest connection to their faith and be motivated to understand why this thing is happening. We don't
that,
have to rescue people all the time. Let them, they'll be okay. They'll survive. They'll be
ooh,
okay.
that's a sermon right there.
They'll-
Hey, cousin Terrence, and yes, spiritual warfare. Look, I can't talk today. Spiritual warfare is happening. And it's funny
Woo!
that that
Yeah. E.
um,
coli, E. coli, EGLLOC. How about that? About do?
I just
Tell you.
I've been watching the social media feed today regarding the death of Charlie. Oh crap, what's his last name? The Trump guy, um, who got killed at a university pep rally. He was
Hmm.
shot in the neck. I can't remember his last name, but as I was perusing the stories on social media, just kind of gauging reaction, I just think it's sad. Regardless of what his politics are, it's sad. Thank you, cause Kirk, Mr. Kirk. Um, someone posted a post talking about if you do not, as a believer, understand that this is spiritual warfare, something is wrong with you. And as a believer, I'm going to take that a little step further. If you are wishing harm on people as a believer, something is wrong with you and you are a part of the warfare and you have gone to the dark side. I'm sorry. You should not be wishing evil and ill will on people as a believer. The Lord has a way of taking care of things better than we can ever take care of things. It is not our
True.
jobs as
True.
Christians um, to wish death, harm, hurt, bad things on people. Karma is rough, and vengeance is not ours. God can get people back better than you ever can or ever will. So, my prayers out to Mr. Kirk's family, and his two daughters that are now fatherless.
Absolutely.
Um, it is sad. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I just believe that this administration is evil. But I believe in a God who can do any and everything and all things, and He does all things well. So I'm not afraid. I know that we're gonna be all right. But I also know that as believers, it is time for us to take a stand, and it's time for us to stop shaking and faking. So,
Well, think about this, Nick. Just before we get into our rapid fire, we're all familiar with the story, the woman that was caught in the act of adultery.
mm-hmm,
We cannot excuse that. Watch this. She was caught, which means caught means I saw her in the physical act of. Nobody was caught in the commission of a crime, not seen doing the crime. So,
correct.
in other words, you had a bunch of peeping toms at her house looking and seeing that. We don't know if she was married to another man or if he was married to another woman, but we know that one of them had to be married because otherwise it wouldn't be adultery.
Right.
Now, when the people caught her, they literally snatched her out of the bed with another man, brought her to Jesus, and threw her naked before his feet and says, the law says that she deserved to be stoned. What do you say? He then stoops down and begins to write. We don't know what he wrote, but then he says, if you are sinless, if you are without fault, if you are without blame, then go ahead and you can throw your stone. Now, we cannot miss the message in this. When he's now speaking to the woman, where are your accusers? She says, I don't see any. I don't see none. They're not there. He says, and I don't accuse you either. Go your way and sin no more. Here is the message in what he said. They had a legal right because remember what they said to him. The law says we can stone her. Jesus is reminding her that had they not brought you to mercy, they would have been justified in killing you because you were wrong. Y'all missed it. There's a lot of things. This is the reason why we've been fighting to get a lot of the laws changed on the books. Do y'all realize that some of these laws are 100 years old that never gave us any rights? Like we still are a people of a second class in this country. So when you talk about them fighting to change laws, this is the reason why, because they told him the law says she should be killed. So he's reminding her that had they not brought you to me, they would have been right in killing you. But the problem is that we're killing people for the same things we're guilty of.
Wow.
We just haven't gotten caught. See, our stuff is still hidden because we did what Michael Jackson did. We put it in the closet. We kept it in the closet. And you know what my boy OPP said, put it in that closet. No, they put that bone up in there, leave it in the closet. We're not going, and we've gotten away with it. But the reality is the message is, hey, don't forget that they were right to kill you, but mercy gave you another chance. And that's what mercy is. I thank God for his grace. Grace is him giving me what I don't, unmerited, unrewarded, like undeserved. But mercy is him not giving me what I really do deserve. Y'all, can we be real for a moment? There's some stuff that we really deserve that God didn't let us suffer from. Some things that we have done that mercy came and said, no, I'm going to give them another chance. No, we're going to give them another opportunity. We're going to let them recover from this. So at the end of the day, I don't care if just because the dude wore a mega hat, I don't care if he wore a mega hat in the shower, slept in it, went jogging in it. What happened to him was undeserved. That he was still a father, he was still a husband, he was still a person, he was still a human. Say what you will of May, but Donald Trump getting into office did not catch God by surprise.
It did not. It did not. It didn't catch a lot of us by surprise.
It didn't catch him by surprise. And you better understand, y'all better realize that God used Saul. Saul was a wicked king, but God used him. Saul reigned. Watch this. Saul reigned for a whole lot of years, but God had already fired him and let him remain king.
Well.
And so some of us, come on and tell me what you're telling me. God can fire you and let you continue to work. And you will still good things and still bring people and still you will be an encourager and help people. But he's already put a condemned notice on your building. God then already turned you over and said, I'm not even going to fool with you. But he'll still, God is the only person that can fire you and let you keep working. Because if your job fire you, they're going to bring a box by your desk and by 5 o'clock, they want it cleared out. They want your cubicle, take the pictures off that wall. I don't care if you got your little ugly baby up there with them big, thick glasses on because she can't read. Take them pictures off your wall, go to your car, and go home.
Somebody else sitting at your desk in the morning.
Tomorrow. What you say tomorrow? We're going to let them be there tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're always a day away. And we just, if we can, y'all, let's learn to subscribe to mercy because the reality is, y'all, we reap what we sow.
Yep.
And it would behoove us to be kind to people because you never know when you're going to need to be the benefactor of someone's kindness.
Oof. The benefactor of somebody's kindness. Boy.
Real talk. That's good opening, Nick. Good opening. I appreciate that. That's good opening.
No problem. Well, rapid fire. So I have a question for you because you got me.
What we got?
Okay. You ready?
I don't know because I think you've been brewing all week.
I have.
You
I've been
been.
brewing all week.
I can't stand you in the car that drove you to that studio. What you got? What you got?
um, what is your legacy?
Ooh, wow. And you know what? What's crazy is that's a real easy question to answer.
Okay.
Watch this.
What?
And I'm like, watch. Remember when I just said a second ago that the 40-year-old you was going to live a 20-year-old you's decisions? I always knew what I wanted to be. I've always, and if you think back, because we've known each other since Godzilla was a gecko, and so I mean,
Yeah, we go way back. We go
we've known
way
each other for. Somebody
back.
probably said Godzilla was a gecko. What did that boy just say? Okay, so if you know how long that's been, we go a long ways back.
We go a long way back.
And I've had the same email address since internet was dial up.
Yep. Guilty.
I'm talking about when you log in and you got to push the button and go when that's what, before you log on, and then you hear that message that says you got mail. So
Come on, AOL.
I have been with the same email address. When I have my email address, I put it as I am real. And the reason why is because I've always had an understanding that y'all, in order for you to accomplish anything, the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to thine own self, be true. I've never lied to me about me. I know all of my proclivities, all of my propensities, all of my shortcomings, and I am honest about them. When you say legacy, I sat down with my sons when they were 9, 10, 11-year-old boys. And I told them everything that I struggle with as a man. And I didn't take them through, and your mama did this, and your mama hurt me, and your mama. I never said one word about my children's mother. Never. I was honest with them about me because here's what I know. You cannot escape, beat out, or even pray out DNA.
Mm.
There are some things that we see in our children that we pray against and cry in private because we was hoping that they would escape from the thing that we struggled with the most. The richest part of my legacy will be honesty.
Mm. Okay.
Because you can acquire cars, you can acquire houses, fame, money. Imagine getting to a place in your life and you showed up at church only to realize that you went to a masquerade party and you came with your real face. That I shared the stage with pretenders, sang next to pretenders, did records, and I will dare not call one name on this show because I will not make us liable. But I'm talking right there in Dallas, Texas, performed and sung with gospel artists that was molesting and raping their own daughters. And went by the title apostle, prophets, this one and that one. And I'm talking was selling records. So we're not talking about passing on houses and cars and land and stocks and bonds. I'm talking sitting down with them and telling them that you cannot escape being true to who you are. Be honest with yourself. My legacy started the day that I stopped lying to me about me. And I was okay with accepting how imperfect I was. And I was okay with realizing that I'm an enabler. And I had to go back in the place in my life where I was broken, that I started accepting the bare minimum for people and still wanted to remain connected to them. That I didn't deserve to be loved and cared for and embraced in the way that I deserved. Then, in the moment when I started prioritizing me, I said I was being selfish. And prioritizing you is not selfishness, it is a necessity. No is a complete sentence and it needs no explanation. I used to tell people when people were trying to data dump stuff on me and drop stuff on me, and hey, man, I'm not trying to put anything else on your plate. And I would say, no, man, I got a platter. I got a platter. I tell people now I got a tea size coffee saucer, and that is my capacity because I am no longer the fixer of all men's problems. Mm-hmm. To thine own self
be true.
Be true. And my legacy starts with me being able to embrace my inadequacies, my deficits, my shortcomings. Because the moment that I could look that in the face and still feel secure and confident and stop being a people pleaser and having to have everybody love me and be my friend, I became the wealthiest man alive. Because what good would it profit a man if he gained the world? That's my legacy.
Okay. See, I told you I was coming for you this week.
Yeah, you came. Yeah, and I was ready.
You was ready. I got some more over here too. Your turn to ask question. I already know he gonna stump me anyway, so.
The old you versus the new you. Would you remain friends with someone who tried to tarnish your character?
Absolutely not.
The old you versus the new you. Which you would do it and why?
Absolutely not on both.
Oh, wow.
I draw the line at faking and shaking and you talking about me behind my back and then I find out about it and you still my friend. That don't, even the old me didn't tolerate that. The new me definitely does not tolerate that. Like, the new me is so quick to dismiss folks. um
What?
I really no, seriously. Like,
Would treat you like your parents never met. I'm with you.
I, because the 50-year-old me understands that people who treat you like that never meant you any good in the first place.
Wow.
And the 50-year-old me understands that if you are my friend and you could treat me like that and tarnish my name, then you were faking from the start. Because if you love me and you are my friend, you would never talk about me or mistreat me or tarnish my name, nor would you be in an environment where you let that happen to me. You would speak up for me. So the 50-year-old me understands that very, very well. Um, the 20 to 30-year-old me understood that, but I would give you a chance. But then when I thought about it,
gotcha.
then I would cut you off because in my giving you a chance, that also gives me a chance to reevaluate the situation. So there have been people that thought that they were okay in my 20s and my 30s that realized very quickly that they weren't okay, because even though I accepted your apology, even though I forgave you, I still cut you off and I don't deal with you,
Wow.
because to me that is a violation of the trust, and it's very hard for me to come back from a violation of trust.
Wow.
So yeah, you don't get to do that to me, nor do you get that to do nor do you get to do that to people in my circle that I care about. If I was
I
gonna hurt
like that.
somebody from talking about my mama, you can't talk about me. I just I don't play about that. Like
No.
that's mm-mm, point blank, end of discussion. Period. Period. And making you think, huh?
No, it's not really making me think, but just to add to that, because I'm really basically the same way. There are two things that I always have held true to. If somebody walks up to me and says, "Hey, Patrick, Nick was talking about you," my first response would be to them, "And what did you say?"
Mm-hmm.
What you mean? Well, because no person can have a conversation with someone just being silent. So if there was a conversation, I want to know what you said, because here's my point. If I love you just in the way that you just described, then what you would hear is somebody would come to me talking to me about you, and what you would hear is the way I ripped them a new one. See, that would get to you before, hey, did you know what they said about you? Because people be like, man, all they said was your name, and he ripped them a new one, because I've done that. I've been in the presence of preachers and clergy, and I've heard somebody's name mentioned, and I would utter, "Hey, do me a favor. If you don't want all the furniture between me and you to be moved out of the way, I need for you not to let that name come out your mouth, because that's somebody that I love, and whatever you was about to say, you might want to refrain from saying it,
Right.
because that's somebody that I care about." Now, switch the subject, change the narrative, the characters, or whatever you need to do, but don't let that name come out your mouth.
Correct.
So it's not a matter of me thinking, like, I am in total agreement, because the only thing, and people talk about that, about the person that had the pet snake and used to let the snake live in the bed with them and lay in the bed. And of course they talked about it. And then they was like, and one day the snake, devoured them. And so now I'm being questioned, and they was explaining to them, well, why didn't the snake attack them when it was like the snake stayed long enough to realize what size it had to become in order to devour, because you understand what I'm saying? So when people are around you, baby, some people will stay around you for 10 and 15 years just trying to figure out how to take you down.
Yep. Very much so.
And once you show me that that's who you are, in the words of Gregory Porter, I will not repaint you. I won't do it. So I'm with you, man. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Okay. What's the biggest learning experience that you've had?
I don't like you. Uh,
Wait. I told you I was coming for you this week.
ooh, the biggest learning experience that I had. Um, as you know, I've always been a very gifted musician, and when when I first started doing what I'm doing, we didn't have titles like we have now. Like we got, if you've seen somebody on the stage, you can identify that's the bass player, that's the lead player, that's the drummer, that's the percussionist. Then you got main keys. You have ox, that somebody is playing ox, which means they might be playing fill ins, horn lines, the runs, and they'll color. They're coloring the song. And so everybody was playing that position, and so I used to be in a lot of the bands that I played in. I used to be auxiliary. And one day I was somewhere and I was asked to play. And this is before I really perfected my gift. And the lady asked me to put her in a natural. And I was not as confident fingering in a natural as I was in other keys. And I put her in a flat. She said off the rip, I may not be able to play, but I know my keys. Put me in a natural. And immediately I started sweating. And when I started sweating, because it's like now I got to think, and I'm thinking of how these chords and these, how these voicings is going to go. And I'm learning and I'm struggling through it. And I made it through the moment. Here was the learning. Here was the lesson in that. When you are confident in what you know, you can shine 10 times out of 10
Mhm.
until someone stretches you in a place where you're uncomfortable. What I took from that moment is that I would never be put in a position again where I would be embarrassed. And so I literally went home and started perfecting all of the keys that I wasn't as comfortable in. And I'm like at this point, like maybe 15, 16 years old. And I went home and started mastering. And I never wanted to be put in that place again. And so what I learned from that is most of us think that just because we can do what somebody can't do, that they can identify when we're not as good at it as we think we are. Notice what she said. I may not be able to play, but I can tell that you can't play either. Y'all didn't get it. I was killing in A flat. Man, I'm chording and running and I'm doing the fool in A flat. And she was like, I might can't play, but according to what I just asked, you can't play either.
Right.
Because I recognized that you was not in the key that I asked for. And so some of us are arrogant, believing that because we can do something that people can't do, that we're still proficient to a degree that it doesn't require us to learn a greater depth for what we do. And there's a difference in being gifted and skilled. I was gifted. I wasn't skilled. Now I'm skilled. So it doesn't matter if it's classical. I got you. If it's jazz, I got you. If it's gospel, I got you. If it's R&B, neo, fusion, soul, rock, I got you. I am a skilled musician, not a gifted musician. And so the greatest lesson that I learned in my life is to stop relying on my gift and master the art and become skilled.
Okay.
No questions in the queue yet? We ain't got no questions in the queue.
I was just gonna say that no questions in the queue, but I'm gonna shout out to Terrence, Miss Glenda, Tamara, Nat. Thank you guys for being on. I'm not sure who else is on, but I know that they're on. So all right, guys, y'all can ask us questions. We are prepared to ask each other questions, but we're gonna take whatever questions you guys have as well. So until somebody posts a question, okay, it's on you, sir.
Okay. Um, I'm choosing between these two, but I'm gonna settle on this one.
Oh Lord.
Um, I'm gonna settle on this one. Um, we always marvel in our triumphs, but can you describe or talk about the moment that was your biggest failure to yourself? Not what you did, but how did you overcome it?
Whew. Um, there are so many. My biggest failure to myself. Um, that would be. I have too many. Um, Losing my daughter. I blamed myself for that. So um, that
Wow.
was the biggest failure for me. Um, and it was the biggest failure for me because in my mind, um, I was at a place where I should have been ready. I was ready. Um, that little angel changed my life. Um, and I was big and grown up. um, I had her a week before I turned 44. So I was ready and excited. And then losing her was just it was heartbreaking. It was sad. It was, at the time to me, unforgivable. Um,
Wow.
there was a lot that I was processing and going through. But the reason it was such a big failure was because I had all of these hopes and dreams and plans, and I can't I can't fulfill those through her. And
I got that. That makes sense.
and I wasn't sure how I would bounce back from that. Um, I struggled bouncing back from that. Um, but I bounced back. Um, because I understood that she really was a promise fulfilled. Um,
Beautiful.
and even though she's not with me physically, she's always in my heart. The promise was fulfilled. Those dreams that I had for her will never be fulfilled. Um, but as a mommy, I couldn't take care of my baby, and that's why it was such a failure for me.
Wow. Wow.
I
First of
don't know
all,
who needed to hear that tonight,
I
but
was just about to you. Funny, you just snatched the word right out of my mouth. Like, I pray that those words echo to every woman out there who has ever sat in that seat. Um, and I heard her initial words, how I blamed myself. And to have that to happen, because I know again, um, it's not that you were, you are by virtue of everything that is in you are still a mother in your heart, your soul, in your mind. And I pray that what you just said, that it lands on every woman that has ever felt like, how do I get over this heartbreak? Wow, that is amazing. And thank you for sharing that. That was being very vulnerable and transparent. Those of you that are watching or that might even see this replay, do understand that those of us that decide to sit behind the mic and the camera and bare our souls, we don't do so without taking the risk of having to expose some of the most vulnerable places in our own lives. And we know that opening yourself up to the world, you can be left to scrutiny, you can be left to judgment, to criticism. And a lot of people can even take what you say and twist it and turn it, flip it. Um, but the reality is that we are real people who have real struggles, who have real challenges, who have loved and lost, married and divorced, been broken in every way imaginable, have accepted the fact that sometimes even giving our best, it still may not be good enough to some people. And so we don't sit behind this mic because we've accomplished or we have reached a level. That's what I love the way Paul said it. He says, not counting myself to have apprehended, which means I haven't mastered this. I haven't mastered life yet. I'm still a student of life. He says, but this one thing I do, I forget the stuff that is behind me, the pain of the past. And I stretch or I press toward the prize or the reward of what I will gain by being consistent, even when it's a struggle. And so for you, ma'am, I take my hat off to you and I applaud you because that took strength and absolute courage for you to be able to sit into that moment. Because we don't know what questions we're going to ask each other, but for you to bear your soul there through this screen, I hug and I embrace you, my friend, my sister, because I know for a certainty that having to reveal that it pulls up every picture in your mind, every thought, every moment, and it brings it back into full 4K view. And my prayers, may His grace and comfort be with you as even in the years to come that you still process that loss because it's not something that you will ever get over. And for being bold and brave enough to share that, I pray that in the same resolve that you were able to speak it, then you will find the same comfort of His grace that will love you through it. And thank you for sharing that. And I pray that someone is blessed by those words that you shared. That means a lot.
Well, thank you. And Terrence said, "You are the first mother of civilization." We
Come
are,
on.
we
Come
are,
on.
cuz we are. But yep, that was my biggest failure. But what I will say, as we prepare to bring this to a close, I didn't think we would be so heavy tonight. um,
We're gonna be passing out virtual tissues in a minute at this thing.
what I will say is, uh, regardless of what loss you experience, um, job, relationship, family member, loss is loss. But remember that with every loss is a new beginning. Um, and that's what I had to focus on, was all of the things that God was placing before me to birth, like this podcast,
This is your baby. Come on.
some businesses,
Bringing it full
um,
circle. Come on.
some new relationships. Um, and so, with every loss, there is a new beginning. And sometimes we have to shed things in order to be able to be prepared to step into the new. So, even though my baby girl is not here, I think of about her little dusty, crusty redheaded little freckled self uh all the time. And I have a clear picture of what she looks like in my head, very clear picture. Um, and I know that she would be cheering me on right now because she'd be like, "Mommy," because she was a little spitfire. She was a spitfire even before she was born. So you just have to know that with every end there is a new beginning, regardless of what the loss is. God is using that to prepare you for the new. And we have to shed things in order to move forward.
Mm, that's so good. Mm.
So, parting words, Patrick.
Um, Anybody that knows me, that I love music and I love music of all genres. Um, and I want to just leave, and I want you to take the time and go look this song up. And it's a song by Layla Hathaway with Joe Sample playing the piano. And I always love the lyrics to this song because it speaks a lot to many of us and our understanding about life. And the lyrics to the song says, "When my life was low, when your life was low, you had nowhere to go. People turned their back on you, and everyone said that you were through. I took you in, made you strong again, put you back together out of all the dreams you left along the way." And then she says, "And now you're doing well from stories I hear tell. You own the world again, and everyone's your friend. And although I never hear from you, it's still nice to know that you used to love me so when your life was low. But always remember, my friend, that the world will change again, and you may have to go back through everywhere you've been." When farmers back in the day used to have unsuccessful crops, instead of them planting, what they would do is they would set fire to the field. And sometimes, in order for us to see life begin again, you may have to set fire to things that is not producing. And literally, we don't even realize that's why he even said, "I won't destroy the world by water, but the next time it will be by fire, because fire is a purifier, it cleanses." And so at the end of the day, I just leave you with these words. Just remember that the world that we live in, it will change. And I end the way that I started. Let's be merciful. Let's be kind. Because the person that you meet tomorrow, you don't know what they're going through and what they're suffering with. And if they get just a tad bit of kindness, because there's a difference in being kind and nice. Kindness is with conviction. Nice people get used, but kind people have conviction. Let's be kind one to another, to the Kirk family and all of those who are suffering like them. We speak peace and blessings upon you. To every woman that is sitting in the seat as our host and what she shared tonight, we speak peace and blessings on you. And then to every one of you that's just dealing with life, I want to give you two words of wisdom: breathe, live. Breathe and live. My parting words.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. That's our
Man,
new time.
I'm finna go get some tissue because this girl finna have me crying all over. He, what he tell me? He gonna
Well,
cry.
you don't want to see the post that's about to hit
He
uh
gonna, he gonna
in
cry when he get in the
another
car. He gonna cry when he get in the car.
hour. um,
Oh, this was
so
beautiful.
Oh my God. We'll see y'all next week.